Today's video we will be making 3 fun and affordable summer wreaths. We are also part of Heidi Sonboul's DIY Summer Challenge. I will tell you more about that in a bit. Welcome to my channel where I love to create fun, affordable, and easy DIYs using mostly Dollar Tree products. If you're interested in what you see today, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. With that being said, let's get started. Starting with the small square wooden plank from the Dollar Tree, I drew four holes in each corner. I then used a tool that they sell at the Dollar Tree. They're woodworking tools now. They believe they come in a 4-pack. I used that just by twisting it into the circle that I drew to create a hole. I went ahead and sanded those afterwards. I will tell you, you only need to do 2 holes on the top. I did not need all 4. You'll see that a little later on. I then proceeded and painted the entire piece with Waverly white chalk paint. I did the front, the back, and the sides of this piece. After the white paint was dry, I distressed the piece with dandelion yellow paint from Apple Barrel, which you can get at Walmart. I set that aside and took apart one of the 3D ring wreath forms from Dollar Tree. Using the largest piece, I removed the 2 metal little pieces that were on the side. And I then went and used burlap ribbon that I picked up from Walmart and wrapped the entire wire with that burlap ribbon. Using a floral stem that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, I removed all the leaves and I proceeded to glue them around the around the wreath in different directions. So this way it was sticking on the outside, some of the leaves, and some of the leaves were sticking on the inside. So it looked a little more whimsical instead of a uniform pattern. I then proceeded to glue flip-flops on either side of the wreath. I bought these flip-flops at the Dollar Tree, and I did put a little glue underneath that section where your toe goes in on the bottom to keep it in place. It kept sliding out. And I just put a little bit of hot glue along the bottom of each of the flip-flop and glued them on either side. After those were in place, I decided to add a few more leaves on the side and a couple on the top as well, just to fill it out and give it a little more fullness. It looked a little too skinny and flat to me. I then went and glued 2 purple Gerber daisies and 1 pink Gerber daisy on the top. I got those at the Dollar Tree as well. I just removed them from the stem, and I did cut the bottoms a little flatter so they were more all the way to the top and that little piece wasn't sticking out. And I did decide to go ahead and add a 3rd purple to the top of the blue, up the pink. I then went ahead and added 2 more purple flowers to the sides of the flip-flop, and I did leave the leaves that were on the stem with the daisy on them. I kind of liked how that looked underneath there. It gave it a little more texture and fullness. Using Arteza's graphite paper and a printable that I printed off Google, I cut the printable out, and here I'm showing you that you can transfer it by using a pencil and just scraping the entire back of it and transferring it on that way, but I went ahead and I used the graphite paper. I then traced it on there, as you see, and I used the pink magenta Arteza acrylic marker. Wow, I can't talk today. The purple acrylic marker as well as the green acrylic marker, and I filled the letters in, and now using the titanium white, I'm just adding a few little dashes to it just to give it a little more highlight. I then went ahead and used some white twine that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I just put a knot in it so it was in the front of the sign, and I wrapped that around. You could see here where I'm trying just to get the length that I would need so it would hang in the correct spot. I then went ahead and did the same thing on the other side. Once I got it into the position that I liked on the front, I flipped it over and I tied the string in a knot, and then I went ahead and glued either side. Actually, I ended up taking the knot out. Sorry. I glued the string to the sides, the back of the wreath, and I put a piece of ribbon over that just to give it a little extra security. I then went ahead and glued the bottom part of the sign to the back of the flip-flop, and as you've seen, I did add a couple pieces of wood just to keep that in place as well. Here I am making a messy bow using 2 pieces of burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, yellow ribbon from the Dollar Tree, the light pink ones from Dollar Tree as well, and the other one is from Walmart. I picked that up on clearance. And here, after I laid them out on top of each other in a crisscross pattern, I just cinched it together and tied it with a piece of the yellow ribbon and added one of those pink Gerber daisies to the middle. I then went ahead and attached it to the bottom of the wreath. Now I am just making a little loop, and I glued that to the back for a hanger. And this is the final piece. I absolutely love this. I'm so excited. Today we are part of Heidi Sonboul's DIY Summer Challenge. If you do not know who Heidi is, you need to go check out her channel. Her DIYs are gorgeous. She is very talented and creative. So I will leave her link to her channel in the description box below, as well as today's playlist. Our next DIY, we are going to use a small green wreath form from the Dollar Tree and this burlap ribbon that I picked up at Hobby Lobby at the end of Christmas. I want to say it was probably like $5, but I don't remember exactly how much it was. But we're going to take this ribbon and hot glue a little to the top to secure it in place and just wrap it around the entire wreath. When you get to the end of the wreath, you want to just go ahead and add some hot glue and secure that ribbon in place. And then obviously go ahead and cut the excess ribbon off. Here you see me using my spatula to push it down. Now we're going to use these sunflowers that I picked up at Michael's for half price for $5, I believe. I'm going to cut them down, leaving a little bit of the stem. I did need to use a small screwdriver to poke a hole through the ribbon and the wreath form so I can get it in. Those wreath forms are very hard and stiff. And I did do that to 4 sunflower heads, placing them along the side. Using the same buffalo check ribbon, I'm going to take it and fold it over itself 4 times, which will give us 2 loops on each side. This is an Olivia bow. If you're not familiar with Olivia from Olivia's Romantic Home, I will leave her video down in the description as well. You need to go check her out. Her bows and her crafts are absolutely gorgeous. So we are going to cinch it in the middle and hold it in place, and then you'll take your scissors and cut a little slot in each side, the top and the bottom, and then using some jute twine you will just tie it in place to secure it so it stays together. Then you can pull your loops out and fluff it up, and you will have that 1 extra piece inside that you could pull down to make for the other tail. Then trim the other one down to make them even. And using yellow ribbon that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, I'm just going to make a simple like shoelace bow. And you'll see after we attach the buffalo check ribbon to the wreath, we'll attach that one on top. Now, using smaller buffalo check ribbon that I picked up at Hobby Lobby at the end of Christmas as well on clearance, we're just going to cut a piece and glue it together so the ends are stuck together, and then flip that around and then go ahead and glue it to the bottom. Well, it's actually the top of the wreath, but it's the bottom of the ribbon. And then I went and twisted it so the opening and the hole, I guess you could say, of the ribbon is facing you, so this way when you put it on a nail it doesn't twist. And to hold that in place, I just made a small shoelace bow. I wrapped it around, tied it, and then made the bow on top of it with the yellow ribbon. And that's it for this one. It's so simple, quick, and easy to do. It probably took me maybe 25 minutes to do. Would you like to win a $25 Amazon gift card? When I hit 300 subscribers, I will be doing a drawing and giving one away. The rules are as follows. You must be subscribed to my channel. You must like this video and every video after until I hit 300 subscribers. Leave a comment on this video and every video after until I reach 300 subscribers. When I do hit 300 subscribers, the following video I will do the drawing and make an announcement of who wins. So please don't forget to share this with your family and friends, and this way we can get to 300 quicker and have that drawing. Okay, the last DIY. Using a mason jar glass sign from the Dollar Tree, I removed the sticker off the back, and then I went ahead and sanded Actually, no, take that back. I didn't sand yet. I removed the pieces of fruit that were on the front of the sign. Then using my utility knife, I went ahead and cut the handle off and the top of the straw. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is just score it just a little bit, and the pieces just break right off. It's very simple and easy to do. Now I went ahead and I sanded. I sanded the side, all the sides down from where I removed the handle and the straw, and I also sanded off the glitter just to help with the mess, and did do a little bit of sanding on the back as well, which is now the front of the sign. Using Waverly Ivory chalk paint, I did go ahead and give this piece just one coat, and I also did the sides and just that front piece. I didn't do anything to the back of the sign at all. Once that was dry, I used Waverly Steel, and I just went ahead and made a line across the top. I used a small brush for that, just to make the line, just so I wouldn't go over with a larger brush. And then I did fill the entire top in with the steel as well for the lid of the mason jar. Okay, so here's a correction. The first color I used was not steel, it was Silver Lining by Waverly. This is Steel by Waverly. Now I'm just using a very thin brush, and I'm just making some lines just to give it some detail. I also went ahead and put the lines going down the side, so it kind of looks like the top where you screw it on. Now using Pool by Waverly, I'm going to just make some wavy lines and fill the bottom half of the mason jar with that color. I'm trying to make it look a little bit like there's water in the bottom of the jar. Okay, so now using the Silver Lining again, I am going to make some ice cubes. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see it here in the picture. I do start with a square, and then I go up on an angle on the top and connect those together. Then on the bottom, I make an angle going towards the top, I guess you could say, and a line down to make it look like an actual box. I hope you could see it in here. I do go a little bit later, and you'll see where I do it in pencil, so you could see it a little bit better. I went ahead and drew the ice cubes in different not really patterns, in different angles, so they look like they were stuck together and on top of each other. After they were all drawn, I went ahead and I filled in each one of the ice cubes with the silver lining chalk paint. After that paint was dry, I went ahead and used the Arteza white titanium marker and outlined each one of the ice cubes to give them the dimension that they need. I did leave the pencil marks. Most of them, I did erase some of them, but I did leave a lot of the pencil marks to give it a little bit more dimension. Using these stickers from the Dollar Tree, I placed the R at the end, and then I went ahead and placed the E. Then I just went backwards to the S, and I put them where they were up and down, because putting them in a straight line, they weren't fitting on the mason jar. This was the only way I could get it to fit, and I actually did like it a lot better. Again, using my finger sandner, I just went ahead and I distressed the entire thing, including the stickers. Now we're going to use this butterfly material that I picked up at the Crafter's Square section in the Dollar Tree. We're going to open it up and we are going to cut a total of 6 strips out of it. I cut one strip just eyeballing it. I didn't measure anything. After I cut the first one, I laid it on top just to get an idea of where to cut it, and I just did that all the way down till I had the 6 strips. Now we're going to take that fabric and we're going to attach it to the Dollar Tree ring wreath form. I never can get that out, sorry. I'm going to start on one section on the bottom, and I just knotted it in place. You can glue it, you can use a zip tie, a pipe cleaner, whatever you'd like. And then I took it and I twisted it and I pushed it up through the top hoop, twisted it again, put it through the bottom, twisted it again, went back on top. If you've ever made a wreath using burlap or that tool, it's the same process. It's just a lot thinner, and you just have to kind of pull it out and fluff it out a little bit more. This is the first time I've ever done this with fabric, so hopefully I did it correctly. Let me know in the comments if anyone else has ever used fabric to make a wreath with. I'd like to know if you have any suggestions on any other way that I could do it. Now I'm going to take the mason jar and I'm going to glue that to the center of the wreath from now, just so I have an idea of where I want to put the fabric around the wreath. So I ended up using 4 pieces of the fabric. Actually, take that back, I'm sorry. 2 pieces of the fabric on one side, 2 pieces of the fabric on the other side, and 1 piece on the bottom. It was 5 strips we cut, not 6. We do need 6 pieces altogether. I did have another package of the ribbon, so I went ahead and cut another strip, and I put that on the top. You'll see coming up, I'm going to be finishing up the sides, and then you'll take the 1 strip and you'll do the same process on the bottom, same process on the top of the wreath. Now, using a greenery pick that I picked up for 97 cents at Walmart, I just pulled off two of these pieces with the white. They remind me of lavender, white lavender. I'm not quite sure what they are. And they also had a few little pieces of the eucalyptus on it. I put those in kind of a swag at the top, and then I went ahead and added the eucalyptus to either side on the top in the middle to hide that piece from the other greenery on there. And then I also went ahead and added a piece to either side in between that. I'm going to call it lavender, just to make it a little bit fuller. Now, using these 3 small white roses that I picked up again on clearance at Michael's, just going to go ahead and glue 3 of them into the middle as well. Now we're going to use this piece of fruit that we removed off the jar in the beginning, and just take any glue or anything that's on the back of it off, because that's what we're going to use as the front. But I am going to just go ahead and sand the glitter off of it. I then went ahead and gave it 2 coats of the Waverly Maze chalk paint. Using the chalk pen from Crafter Square at the Dollar Tree, I drew a white circle in the middle, and then proceeded to draw a line around, not the whole edge. I did leave a spot in between, and then I went and drew these. It's a lemon. I can't spit out what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what these little spots that are called, but I did draw them, and then they were a little small, and I went back with the chalk pen and made them a little larger. Now we're going to go ahead and add some hot glue and glue that to the top side of the mason jar. I then cut a small piece of twine, glued it to the back of the wreath, and added a piece of ribbon as well on top of that for a little more security, so we can use that for the hanger of the wreath. And here's the finished project. I love this. I think it's so cute and summery. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you again for stopping by and watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. And please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, and leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite wreath was in this video. Don't forget to check out Heidi and the playlist. See you next time.